So good afternoon, everybody. Once again, thank you for being here today. I've got a statement that I'd like to read. First of all, my name is Grant Brown. I'm the Public Information Officer for the City of Gulf Shores, Alabama. I'm joined here today, Baldwin County Sheriff Haas Mack, Baldwin County District Attorney Bob Wilters, Baldwin County Board of Education Superintendent Betty Tyler, Baldwin County Board of Education Director of Prevention and Support Services Anthony Simpson, Gulf Shores Chief of Police Ed Delmore, and Battalion Chief Kevin Tolbert from Gulf Shores Fire Rescue. Also, Angie Swiger, Baldwin County Board of Education School Board Representative. Earlier today, approximately 10:05 a.m., 12 members of the Gulf Shores High School Band were injured when a 2008 Ford Expedition participating in the Gulf Shores Mardi Gras parade accelerated and struck them from behind. It was originally reported that 4 of the injured students were in critical condition. The number is now 3 in critical but stable condition. The SUV was driven by a 73-year-old man who is cooperating with the authorities. And there is no indication that the incident involved any alcohol or drugs, nor is there believed to be any intentional act involved. Our Gulf Shores Fire Rescue, the Gulf Shores Police Department, and numerous other agencies responded immediately. The Gulf Shores Police Department is continuing with its investigation, and Alabama Highway 59 will be opening for traffic very shortly. Our mayor, Gulf Shores Mayor Robert Kraft, was deeply saddened with the news of this event today. And his statement is, our thoughts and prayers are going out with the children, the families, and all those involved in this horrific incident. So this information will be made available to the media immediately following the press release, and be glad to try to answer any questions that you may have at this point.
Grant, are you any closer to knowing what happened, what caused this?
Chief Delmore, can you take that one?
I think what we're prepared to say, again, like we said earlier, is that we are certain at this point that it was not an intentional act, that it was an accident. Beyond that, we're still investigating, and I don't think we want to speculate anymore about exactly the dynamics of what happened.
Earlier you said alcohol, drugs not involved, not an intentional act. Have you found out any other reason from the driver?
We're still investigating that. We don't know exactly, but for instance, we have obtained a search warrant, and we are getting the electronic data from the vehicle that will tell us more about the event, assuming that was captured on the vehicle.
Has he been told at this point what happened?
He's aware that there was an incident, yes, and as I said before, he is cooperating. He's given us those blood samples voluntarily, and he's given us statements voluntarily.
Any belief that maybe medical reasons might be involved here?
Possible, but again, to say that we have confirmed that in any way, shape, or form would be speculation.
What about something faulty with the vehicle?
Well, again, that's we're not to that point yet. We're in the process of investigating this. Not only Gulf Shores police officers who are trained in accident investigations, but with the Alabama State Troopers who are mapping the scene at our request.
Are you releasing his name at this point?
No.
And
no.
why is that?
He's still with us. He's still talking with us until and if charges are filed in conjunction with the district attorney's office. We're not releasing him at this point.
Who's talking with him? He's obviously been with you now for quite a few hours.
Yeah.
What kinds of things are you hoping to learn, and what different agencies have been talked with?
At this point, it's just been Gulf Shores police detectives, and then those detectives have been in consultation with members of the Baldwin County District Attorney's Office, and we're trying to get to the bottom of what happened. But we're combining anything that he tells us, obviously, with the physical evidence at the scene and the information that we hope to obtain as a result of the execution of the search warrant on the vehicle.
Can you give us a little bit better description of how it happened? From where did the vehicle come? Was it turning out of a certain area onto 59? You said that the children were hit from behind.
Yeah.
How did that?
I think Grant can.
Can you kind of give us a little better idea of how that happened?
What we know, the band is very ahead of the parade. As the band walked out onto Highway 59 and started their way south, the vehicle that was staged behind the band also followed onto Highway 59, And then something went terribly wrong, and that vehicle, which was behind the band, accelerated and struck the children that were in the band in front of them.
So the vehicle came into 59 the same direction the bandit came into
Yeah, they
59
were
off
in
of
line.
West 19th.
Yeah, they were in line off of West 19th, which was the queuing line, if you will, for the parade to enter out on Highway 59.
Is this the vehicle that was set on the roster to be behind the band?
They were part of the American Legion Honor Guard as part of the parade entry, yes.
They're actually, I think, we're supposed to be before
The
the
Honor
band.
Guard was walking in front, and this was the vehicle behind.
So they were part of that honor guard?
Yes.
What is the condition of our kids? What is, I know that we've said critical in that, do we have any
No.
idea?
We do not have any medical updates, and unfortunately, with HIPAA regulations and the health insurance guidelines, we're not accessible to that information. And plus, we have minors involved.
Were 4 in critical, and is it now moved down to 3, or was it just 3 to begin with?
4 were initially listed in critical condition, and 3 have now been listed as critical and stable.
Do we know if the others have been released from the hospital, if any of them have been released? Okay.
I do not have any information. I am so sorry.
I have some questions for Superintendent Tyler. What next? You know, this is a very close community, and you know the school system as well. What next for the other students?
We have services in place from the north to the south end of the county. We have counseling services. Tomorrow we will be at providing those services to the schools in the Gulf Shores area. Whatever's needed for those principals and those teachers and students, our services will be there. These people are trained to handle these kind of situations. So tomorrow morning that will be in place. Some of that's already taken place today, even though students and teachers have been out of school, but that started immediately. Our Director of Prevention and Support, Anthony Sampson, who's here, works closely with these type situations and with law enforcement and these kind of safety issues. So right now we're addressing that, we're all over it, and we'll be there in the morning.
What's happening at this high school right now?
Well, right now there's the high school, from what I understand, it's basically been vacated. I think everything that needed to be addressed with students and with accounts, maybe that what went on with our assistant principals that were handling that, and Dr. Rosado have been addressed. Students have been released. They were going to release them to their parents. They were not going to let them drive their vehicles home, and they could come back and get their vehicles at a later date when things kind of calm down and things were under control.
For the leader of this school system, how is this affecting you?
It's tough. It's difficult. You're in it long enough. 41 years, you're gonna see this. And we got a great family. Law enforcement, City of Gulf Shores, Orange Beach. This is a special county. So it's difficult.
And that's your old school, isn't it?
I was there 5 years as principal, yes. Of course, all these schools are my
Sure.
old schools. So, it's a special place, and I'm just, can't say enough about Dr. Rosado and his assistants, the band director that stepped up and has done a stellar job from the time this incident happened to communicating with us after the fact.
Have you been able to talk to him, Mr.
We
Mixon?
have myself, Mr. Will Height, and Mr. Sampson talked to him on the phone. He gave us some updates. He's been at the hospital. He's been at the high school. He's just done a great job. We're very impressed with his proactive measures and how he has just taken this situation and controlled it from the start.
Would it surprise you, we're hearing that he actually pushed some students out of the way?
Wouldn't surprise me. No, I have not heard that, but it would not surprise me.
Sir, could you say your name and spell your name and your title?
Yes, Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, Tyler, T-Y-L-E-R.
Eddie,
You're
was
the
it,
superintendent of the Gulf Shores? Or
Superintendent of Baldwin County Schools.
Baldwin County Schools, great. And you said you've been with the district 41 years?
No, ma'am, I've been in education 41 years. I was in Baldwin County for 25 years before going off, 3.5 years, and I've been back now for 18 months. I'm blessed to be back here as superintendent of Baldwin County Schools.
And one other thing, sir, it's Grant and your last name?
Brown, B-R-O-W-N.
SHOWN,
You're the
color.
spokesperson for Gulf
I work
Shores.
for the city of Gulf Shores on the public information.
Eddie.
And there was some confusion as to the car that we ran in. Was it a white SUV or a black SUV?
Cream white.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure the color, whitish or cream.
Chief, where is that SUV being kept?
We
Where-
have it, we have custody of that vehicle now.
And is it being forensically tested, or what's going on with that vehicle?
Well, like any investigation of this type, we look at the human factor, and then we also look at the equipment. And part of the investigation now is focusing on the equipment, what the essentially black box within that vehicle will tell us about the event. And we combine all of those things to come up with a conclusion about what actually happened. Not to mention, we are looking at video of the incident and witness statements as well. And again, as you can imagine, that all takes time to put all those things together and figure out the exact sequence of events.
I know the city had asked earlier that anybody with any video has that been fruitful for you? Have people been
Yes.
sending you video?
Yes.
Have you been able to piece together a video picture of what happened?
Yes, yes. Although that information is still part of the investigation, we do have video that shows the incident as it occurred from at least one angle at this point.
Were there any other passengers in the vehicle, and what have they been able to tell you?
Again, I don't have that information. I don't know if there were.
Sir, could you give us a better rundown? It's confusing. How many students were injured, and why was the one student taken off critical? Did the student recover? Was the student okay, or?
I can take a stab at that one. So 12 students were injured to some degree with this event. Initially, there were 4 that were listed in critical, and prior to this press conference, we were able to get an update that 1 had been taken off critical, and the 3 remaining are critical and stable at
Okay,
this
so
point.
then one had improved.
Correct.
Sheriff or Bob, either one of you guys, from a legal standpoint, what are you looking at as this investigation moves forward? Based on what you find, could there be criminal charges filed against this driver, based on some of the evidence that comes to be during the investigation?
Well, the investigation, as you said, is continuing. We will not make any decisions on whether charges will be brought or not brought until the investigation is complete. So I know y'all want a lot of information, but there's a lot of information that we just can't give you because it might interfere with the integrity of the investigation. If there are criminal charges that are brought, we want to make sure that we've got good charges.
I guess what I'm getting at is the chief has already kind of, through what they've seen, eliminated alcohol, drugs, it being an act he did on purpose. That kind of only leaves a couple things left. If it's a vehicle mechanical failure, a medical condition, if it were to come out that it was one of those things, then where would that leave you as far as that goes? At that point, could there still be charges, or would it just strictly be simply be an accident?
We'll have to wait and make that decision when the investigation has been completed.
Chief?
Is there any possibility that you can clarify the order one more time for us of the parade, who was supposed to be in front and where that vehicle was supposed to be once the parade actually began?
The initial parade lineup, and I don't have a copy of the lineup. Let me get that to you after. It's in my office. I don't have the original parade lineup. Hal may have a copy of it.
I don't have it on
with his. I don't have it with me. So, but the part of the American Legion Club.
Now, the MOAA had a banner on the side of this vehicle, and they've come out with a statement. What's the affiliation with that organization?
I do not know.
Okay. And my understanding also has been 12, or of the 12 injured, 6 are middle school students, 6 are high school students. What's the dynamics of the band?
Well,
clarify that.
I'm not sure if that's. I'll take a stab at that.
Okay.
The Gulf Shores High School band is a large roster band. There's probably nearly 100 kids, and the roster of the band is made up of grades 12 all the way down into middle school into 7th grade.
Okay.
And so at any one time, depending on what the event is, a certain number of those students could be anywhere from middle school to high school. And so I'm not sure how many of the children chose to participate in the actual parade. They have to get parents to sign the release, and it's a process that the school goes through to allow the children to participate. But Gulf Shores High School Band actually goes all the way from high school and into the middle school age.
Grant, were all 12 injured transported to South Baldwin Regional?
No, a number of local hospitals were involved with the response. Sacred Heart in Pensacola, Baptist in Pensacola, South Baldwin Regional Medical Center in Foley, and then apparently one of the students was actually airlifted from South Baldwin Regional Medical Center over to USA.
Have you spoken to parents? Are they, I mean, how are they doing, and how can people watching this, what can they do?
I personally have not spoken to any parents. I'm a parent myself. I've got a 19-year-old daughter in college who just graduated last year from Gulf Shores High School. And my neighbor's child was in the band and was right next to one of the children that were injured. I just can't imagine the pain that they're going to go through. The children's parents that were part of the actual injured, and then the mental distress that the other children will be going through, and then the parents, and oh my gosh, what if, and how could, and all those questions. And that's where Baldwin County Board of Education has a great mechanism in place to provide counseling, not only just for the students, but for students and for their parents and for teachers. Some of the teachers witness this, and these are just like their kids, even if they're not their children. Biologically, they're in their class every single day, all day long, so they can have an awful lot of distress for the next few weeks.
Grant, Superintendent Tyler, I don't know who wants to answer this. We're getting a lot of requests from the public wanting to know if there's anything they can do. Is there anything that they can do to help, whether it be blood donations or anything like that?
I'll start. As far as the public's concerned, you give us some time, give the police department some time to complete their investigation. Prayers for these families, prayers for these kids. Hug your child tonight, hug your kid tonight. Make sure that they know that something can just happen. What a festive day that goes incredibly bad. And it can happen at any point. And so I don't believe there's a need at this point for any blood donations. I have not heard of any. But the biggest message that I would send to the parents is, my gosh, you better hug your kid tonight, because it could be your kid at some point.
David, that's right. Our Baldwin County has foundations in every one of our feeder patterns that are there to help and assist. So I'm sure that through Terry Burkle, our coalition director, they'll be communicating with each other, possibly the needs of families that happens in any tragedy or any situation like this. And probably, Nan, if you're a person of faith, or even if you're not a person of faith, prayer.
Chief, any timetable on the investigation? How long do you think it'll take? And you got spring break coming up. That requires a lot of resources down here. I mean, does this still rise to the top of priority list?
Yeah, you're right. Spring break is upon us, and that's a busy time, one of our busiest. But this is a priority. That doesn't mean that it will be hurried. We will take our time, and we will look at everything. Some of those things have to be analyzed and, again, assembled. So it's probably at best weeks before we come out with a conclusion in conjunction with the district attorney's office.
Okay.
Chief, it's obviously there was a lot of fast response from the first responders in getting to the scene, getting help for those kids. But you had tens of thousands. I don't know how many people lined up for 2.5 miles waiting on the parade that all found out there's not a parade happening. Haven't even really asked, how did that disbursement of people go? Were there any difficulties with that? Was everything pretty orderly and the streets?
Well,
it's kind of off topic, but just one.
Yeah, no, it went very well. It was handled. We made a decision to cancel the parade, but until we had the victims out, all the victims were transported. We didn't make that announcement, and we did that intentionally because then we could coordinate the orderly removal of all the patrons. And everyone, to a person that I saw and everyone that I heard about, cooperated. The community stepped up and all our visitors stepped up well. So we appreciate that very much. The other thing I will say is that a Gulf Shores police officer along with an Orange Beach police officer in the Orange Beach parade that followed at 2 o'clock this afternoon carried the banner of the Gulf Shores High School band just to show support for those kids. So we appreciate that from the community.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Once again, we do not anticipate bringing together another press conference or sending out any additional statements specifically from the City of Gulf Shores. We do have a prepared statement that we will be emailing out to the different news media that are present, and we have printed copies available of the opening remarks that I made. And Abby Rhodes, who is here, has those copies available for you. And once again, we appreciate your understanding and your handling of the situation. Once again, the media that was present at the time was incredibly responsible and helpful, and I cannot tell you how much that means to us. So thank you.
That's great.